Hey, what's up, pilots? I'm just at the mall right now waiting for my wife to do some shopping. Got my gear with me, thought I'd do a quick video of how I set up my pre-arm. What inspired me to do this is after playing around with EdgeTX, Betaflight in general, I used to map pre-arm button right from Betaflight, but as a part of doing that, I learned that the number of channels that I have to work with are limited. So yeah, I actually ended up creating my own pre-arm hardware-wise on the radio or controller itself. On here, I have my SH button here, and my arm is actually on this side here. So this will actually do nothing because it actually needs to be pre-arm. And I've set up my controller in a way where the lights here I use to indicate if I'm ready to pre-arm or not. So if it's in a red status here for this button, then it is not pre-armed, so I cannot arm the quad. Let me change here so I can actually show you that it is, that channel is actually sending through. So you'll see channel 5 here. You can see if I just flick this switch, nothing happens. But as soon as I pre-arm, now if I hit that switch, you'll see that it actually took and flipped the channel. Now I'm actually armed. And then if I disarm, then you'll see the pre-arm will turn red again, and now I'm unable to arm until I hit that pre-arm button again. Just to show you, nothing happens when I press this pre-arm button. And on top of that, I made a way so that if I'm in this state and I don't want to be in this pre-arm state, I can actually hit the number 3 button here, and it should disable my pre-arm. Oh, well, that's because I have to disarm first, but let me do that again. So if I pre-arm and I'm not armed yet, I can actually hit the number 3 button here, and it'll disable. So then, you know, I can't accidentally pre-arm. So I used to have the pre-arm button on this side so that everything was one-handed, so that I can just hit here and switch. You can do that as well. For me, I found that I went really monkey brain when I had the pre-arm on this button, and I would just instinctively press it every time I crashed because I wanted to arm myself again. And it led me to having this hand free, and I would pick up my quad, and like, again, monkey brain takes over, and I would press the button and arm the quad, and I was arming the quad in my hand. Fortunately, it was just a tiny whip, so I didn't slice my hands, but to avoid that in the future, I want both hands on my radio, right? So that's why my pre-arm is now on this side, so that I need to have this hand actively holding the controller. There's nothing else it can hold. Then I can actually arm the quad. All right, so with that preamble out of the way, let me show you how I went about setting this up so you can set it up yourself. Yeah, I'm set up right outside of Pop Mart, so it's very busy here as people are lining up to go into the store to waste their money on gotchas when they could be wasting their money on FPV parts instead. Anyways, so it's super loud. I apologize for that. And I'll do my best to record in between the madness that is gotcha. This is done on the Radiometer GX12, but you can actually do it on any other radio you want as long as it's running EdgeTX, and you know, you don't have to add all these other things I added. You just add yourself a pre-arm, but do what you will. So I'll show you this on the GX12. First thing you want to do is most likely you want to like copy your model. You don't want to mess up settings on one that you have working already, so I would just copy a model here. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm just going to go through the settings that I've set up. But for you, I would recommend copying the model to a new slot and then editing that model. So if you hit the page button, I think one thing that I would set off the gate, and this is just for the GX12, is that, so for those 6 switches, you know, on the buttons, I made sure to change them. So I would set the 1 and 2 switches in the same switch group. So you would have here, and you can say they're always on. And then set, I think they're default 2 position already, but if they're not, then set them to 2 position. And on the 3rd switch, the last button over on the left side here, you want to set that to be a toggle switch and then set it in its own separate group. The number on the right side just represents what switch group it belongs to, so make sure you do that. All right, so I was just going to walk through the logical switches that I set up to get this pre-arm set up. And I think one thing to note is that I have this set on, again, the SH button as my pre-arm. and the SE as my arming switch. So those are the two physical switches that we're going to be working with. I'll walk through each logical switch that I set up, just so that you have an idea. If you want to make changes, then you could. So the first logical switch that we set up is a function of a sticky switch. And a sticky switch is a switch that will, upon pressing the whatever set in variable 1, it will stay true until variable 2 is true. In our practical case here, this just means that this is the button that you're going to press to activate the pre-arm state. And that's why in variable 1, we have the SH button. When it's pressed down, then it's going to activate this switch. To cancel this, we don't have that logical switch set up yet. You will set this to the third logical switch, and we'll be going over that. And make sure that you set this to be persistent, because you want it to be persistent and remain on after you press it. So, just to go over, you could see when you press the button, you'll see it like highlight, and this will remain on because it's sticky. And then logical 3 for me, I have actually on that third button. So when I press that third button, it's actually going to deactivate it. Now logical 2 is the second half of that equation, where you need to tell it that in order for pre-arm state to be valid, you actually also need the arm switch, right? My arm switch is SE, and arm switch needs to be down. Like you can't be armed if you want to pre-arm. So we want to have a check in place to make sure that the SE switch is off. And in this case, off for me is SE up arrow. You use an AND function to just set that up. But the thing is, we're tying this in with the pre-arm button that we made in logical 1, right? So that's why this is our complete pre-arm state, where you need logical 1, which is the sticky button that you press, and then you need the arm state to be off. You need that arm switch to be off. And so that's why when you have this set up, this is our actual pre-arm state. Now, the last piece of the puzzle is, how do you turn that off then? So for it to turn off, I actually set up a third logical switch using an exclusive OR. An exclusive OR is just a function that means that only either function 1 or function 2 is allowed to be active in order for exclusive OR to be true. Otherwise, it always resolves to false. And we add an AND switch to say this is only considered when the arm switch, my SE switch, is in the up position, meaning that it's off. So I set up two conditions, because this first one allows me to actually press the button that I set to switch 3. And if I press that button, then it becomes active, but at the same time, logical 2 is still active, meaning that we're in our pre-arm state. So because both can't be true at the same time, it cancels it. And again, this is only going to take place if the arm switch is down. So that means that it prevents me from pressing. So what I did was I just pre-armed, and then I just armed. And now that I'm in an arm state, I don't want to accidentally hit this button and like fall out of the air and disarm, right? So, because this is only considered when the arm switch is off, then we won't be messing around with any of this logic to have it affect anything else. With that set up, the last thing you need to do then is just to go back to your logical switch 1, and then set the trigger to turn this off to that logical switch 3 that we set up. That's basically everything for setting up the pre-arm, at least the logical switch portion of it. So the other step that you need to do is to actually have this affect your arming. And for that, I've added an input. You can probably do it through mixes as well. I just decided to use the inputs. All right, so what you want to do is set your input for the arm switch. So this is going to be only affecting the arm switch. And you want to make it so that the switch, or the thing that determines this state, whether if it's going to listen to it or not, is you're going to set it to that logical 1 that we set up, that sticky logical 1. And logical 1 determines if we're pre-armed or not, right? So that's why you want to set it there. And that's about it. So at least when you do all this, what you'll get is what I showed in the channel mapping, where now, you know, you have to pre-arm, otherwise channel 5 doesn't work. If you are in a pre-arm state, you know, you can't accidentally cancel out of it by pressing this button, or, you know, nothing happens when you press the pre-arm button again. And now upon disarming, then everything's reset again. So that's how you set that up, and then the rest is just extra gravy. Gives you the bells and whistles like the LEDs I have set up. So let me go over that, and that's all done in special functions. To go over that extra stuff, you can page over to the special functions. And so for extra bells and whistles, I think a lot of you do this already, but you know, I have it set to play tracks, and that's why you get it speaking to you. A lot of the times we'll be in our goggles, and so it's nice, you know, to have those audio cues of what's happening. And I don't know if you can hear this because, again, I'm at the mall, it's really loud, but I'll play it. It'll say launch control active when I actually press the arm button, and that I have set to logical switch 1. And then I have one that will, when this is deactivated, then you'll hear it say disable. And then for the lights, the lights themselves are actually pretty simple. All that is just set to push the buttons, because these are all set up so that you can, like, so as soon as any of these switches are, you know, quote unquote pressed, then the buttons will light up, right? So I just have it push the button when when logical switch 1 is active, and so we're just gonna push the switch 2 button to light that up. And then when it's disabled, then it'll go to red, and you can see it go to red, and that's it. So it's kind of that simple to set everything up. Hope you enjoyed this quick guide and able to set this up for yourselves and save yourself a channel. All right, bye.